Hi everyone, it's Adam from the Policy and Development team at CPS here. I hope you're all keeping well and you're enjoying that wee bit of freedom that we've started to get back, which is thanks in no small part to your efforts in the front line. I'm here today to give you a short update on pharmacist education and training and where it's heading, from undergraduate level all the way through to independent prescribing qualifications. Why am I doing this today? Well, first and foremost, there are important links with this to the future of community pharmacy service delivery, and I'll pick up on that in a wee moment. There's also the fact that plans for education and training have moved so quickly in the last few months that I've found them really challenging to keep a track of. And I've got the ability to sit behind a desk and try and figure it all out. That's a luxury that not everyone else has, far from it. So what I'll do is I'll spend a wee bit of time laying out what we know at this point in time for you so that you can have a think about it and how it might relate to you and your work. Now, what I'm going to do might seem a wee bit upside down or a little bit back to front, but I find that it's easiest to start with the end in mind and then work back from there so that we can explain what the plans are for you. That does mean a wee bit of time traveling, so please bear with me. What I'm going to ask you to do first is take yourself forward in time, around about 10 years or so. It's absolutely our vision that by now we have got an independent prescriber in every pharmacy in Scotland. By now, the Pharmacy First Plus service will be an integral part of the NHS in every community in Scotland, where the pharmacist prescribers assessing and treating acute conditions with their advanced skills. We also know that through the Medicines Care and Review service, pharmacist IPs will be supporting people with stable long-term conditions to manage their health and medicines by getting involved in monitoring and reviews. So that gives you a bit about the why of it all. Clearly, independent prescribing is a skill that is going to be in great demand across community pharmacy for these services to develop to be of maximum benefit to our patients. But how do we get those numbers? To our knowledge, in 2021, there are no more than around 100 or so prescribers out there in the community, and not all of them are actively using their qualification at the moment. To answer the question of how we increase IP numbers, we have to go back in time now to 2026. So that's about 5 years back and 5 years from now. This is when the first people will come out of the other end of a newly designed undergraduate MPharm course. So the GPHC have signalled a change in initial education and training that will lead to an integrated programme with trainee pharmacists simultaneously graduating and qualifying as pharmacists with their IP qualification from 2026. So that means it's the intake for autumn 2021 that we'll see coming out in 2026, with every student every year thereafter qualifying with their IP annotation in the GPHC register. That's a massive change, and it takes care of the future flow of pharmacists from 2026 onwards. If we roll back another 5 years, we're back in the present. And we still want to do something to increase numbers at a steady rate because we won't see that flow kicking in for 5 years. To solve that, we're going to need a bridging programme, and that's what we're building with NHS and RPS colleagues right now at this moment. So Scottish Government and CPS have agreed to utilise funding to establish a post-registration foundation programme which includes the IP qualification. So this will see from September of this year, that's 2021, outgoing pre-registration pharmacists qualifying and then having the opportunity to undertake a NES run 2-year programme that's underpinned by the RPS Foundation curriculum. There will be up to 180 places available on application, with newly qualified community pharmacists having to get support of their employer. Employers will have to provide an educational supervisor for pharmacists undertaking the programme, and they'll have to provide time for both the pharmacist and the pharmacist supervisor to complete the mandatory elements of the programme. Of course, this will come at a cost to the contractor, so there'll be a monthly training grant available to contractors who support pharmacists on the foundation programme, as well as funding to cover completion of the IP programme that as part of that post-registration framework. Full details will follow for all of this because it's still in development, but hopefully you can see how we're building a robust pipeline of pharmacists with the IP qualification to support service delivery. There is, of course, the not exactly small issue of the existing workforce. So that's pharmacists like me that don't have their independent prescribing qualification but would love to undertake it and can absolutely see the space for it in the future. For the last 2 years and for 1 more year, we have secured funding to put employed pharmacists through their training. So there was around 60 qualified last year, with double that in the system at the moment. This mechanism is working really well, but we still need to secure funding and university places to carry on as we have been. This is a big focus for us just now, so keep an eye out for updates. It's what we're focusing a lot of our political lobbying on. So that's me at the end of the brief update of all the things that are going on just now. Hopefully it's been useful in pulling together some of the projects that are underway at the moment into a bit of a bigger picture for you. If you had some takeaway messages from this, first of all, whoever you are, have a think about what you need and want professionally and for your pharmacy service going forward. Specifically, if you're a contractor or a pre-registration pharmacist at the moment, keep an eye out for messages about the Post Registration Foundation programme, and they'll come from NES and they'll come from us as well. We'll make sure it's well publicised. For contractors and for currently registered pharmacists, do the same for IP courses and funding messages as they come out as well. We'll make sure that our news feeds, our social media and our e-newsletters are updated as they need to be. If you have any questions whatsoever about this initial education and training piece and independent prescribing, then please just get in touch with us at inquiries@cps.scot and we'll do our best to answer your questions. Each of us are always around to answer questions too, so you can give us a ring on the main phone number. Thanks for listening today, and we'll be in touch with a brief update again shortly. See you.